4, 3, 2, 1. Level up, level up, level up.
Hello and welcome back to Level Yourself. I am your host, Jans, alongside my beautiful ladies, Liz and Camille. Say hi.
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
All right. So on our last episode, we spoke about social media and how it affects our lives, and do we let social media affect our lives? And in our last episode, we had Paris from the Dolls Box, and we had Swank's Vengeance. And on this episode, we have two very, 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 very special people, Lucy and Gio. Say hi, Lucy.
Hello.
Hi.
So, Lucy and Gio are from a different age group than Paris and Swank's Vengeance. We won't speak about what age group they're on.
They're 80s, baby!
But let's just say they're 80s babies. And we want to see, we want to talk to them a little bit about, how social media affects their lives in terms of their age group, their generation, to see if there's any differences and to see if there's any, similarities, and go from there. So first off, I want to ask you guys, you both have Instagram and Facebook, right? Or you have both?
Yep.
You have Twitter?
Yes.
I don't. No Twitter.
You have any funky other social media ones that are out there that, we don't know? Like, there's some crazy ones out there.
No.
Do you
Nope.
Wait, Lucy, you say you got Snapchat.
I got Snapchat, yeah. Snapchat, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. That's all.
You're telling me I'm the only one who has MySpace?
Yeah.
I thought that shut down.
I'm kidding. No. I have MySpace. I'm pretty sure I do, but I haven't connected in a while. So, okay, so you guys have all these, upcoming social medias. Instagram is, one of the biggest platforms out there, and Facebook. Are your social medias private?
Yes.
Yes.
Yours as well.
Interesting. Very
So, okay, and that's totally fine. Now, why do you choose to keep your social media private? Gio?
For me, my social media, I usually just follow people that I know personally. A lot of close friends, family, and I post general things like that are personal to me. So I don't want that out there. For one, and two, my line of work, I can't be out there in my line of work. So I have to be cautious about my social media footprint and what I put out there and what can possibly be made available to coworkers, colleagues, and other folks in my line of business.
Right. Okay. And I can definitely, that's sort of like, and this is for I think everyone is, you're someone at work, and then, when you're out of work, you're a different person. So I see why, and I do that too. I have I don't have any friends, any coworkers as friends on my social media. So I get you guys. How about you, Lucy? What is your reason for keeping your page private? Do you have?
Same reason, for work reasons. I don't want to have my friends, I don't want to have my coworkers seeing what I'm doing on the weekend. So it's just more business.
All right, I'm going to ask a question, right? And it may be going off topic, but not really. So as far as not wanting people at work to see what you do on the weekend, or to see who you are on the social media platform, do you feel like you are two different people at work and personally? And if so, why?
Yes. You have to. Me personally, you have to. This is the time to play, and this is the time to work, to be professional. And and that's why it's important to me to have it private. Yeah.
But for me, it's a little different. I don't think it's so much being a different person at work and a different person in your personal life. I think in my case, when it comes to work and the role that I play, and I'm a VP in a Fortune 500 financial services company, so I have a multitude of people who answer to me, people that I meet with, people who judge my opinion, my character, and a lot of what I say. And in this world, this day and age, people see a picture and they formulate a complete thought about who you are. And now that kind of picture may depict me in a different light and may impact the way that my peers, the people that report to me, answer to me and how they see me. So I have to keep a very clear, separate line of my colleagues versus my friends and family.
Interesting. Something kind of crazy came up the past 2 weeks. The hotel company that I work for, Omni, they're very much into like social media and posting like associate relations type stuff onto social media, right? So they have the hashtag Omni Lacoste Buzz, and they are now promoting this to the extent where they want the managers to post like events and things that we do for the staff onto our social media platforms and hashtagging the hotel on Instagram, right? So it's like, oh, okay, great, right? But then it's like, at the same token, that's the only way that we would get credit for doing these things for the staff, right? Is through tagging them on Omni Lacoste Buzz. So I was like, okay, I've never been really reluctant to post anything on the social media. My page personally is public, and I'm not reluctant to post anything. But at the same time, it's like, okay, I do a lot of things for the staff. And if I'm hashtagging Omni Lacoste Buzz on my page every time I'm doing stuff for the staff, it's like a bit much, right? So it's like, how do you find that line? I still want to post, I do fun things for the staff, but that's not all of me and it's not my whole world. So it's like, you know, now I'm trying to figure out, okay, I'm going to post some stuff, but I get what you're saying about the staff, like, you know, looking into the things that you do. And for me, it's a little bit different. I'm okay with posting it, even though I'm a manager, I'm okay with it. But to me, it's like a fine line too. It's like, I don't want to post everything, then they're going to page, and then it's like okay, but then it's not okay. I don't know. I'm kind of in between, but my page is public. I do have a public page.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's pretty interesting because I feel like I'm the same person. I just don't want anyone in my business from work. So like, and I'm literally like the same person at work and on social media. I just don't want anyone question, especially if I call out and I want to post that I'm at the beach. They don't need to know this. They don't need to know this.
Exactly.
So let me ask you guys, when you go on your social media and, you know, here you are, you took a great picture of yourself, a selfie or of something, before you post that picture, do you like think twice about like the captions you're gonna write? Like, is it very hard for you to be like having a fun day, or is just like, or you have to put so much thought into it? How are you hesitant when you post things, or, you know, how do you go about your posts?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. It depends. It depends what what's the picture, like where you at, or it depends. So, if it's like a celebration, you're not thinking about the caption or anything, or it's just, it depends.
I think it depends on what platform and in which way, right? So like we already discussed earlier, we have Instagram, for instance. Do I post it, or do I put it in my story? Like once it goes in my story, it's bye-bye, no one cares. Once I post it, it's like, oh, it's there forever, even though you can delete it. But somehow you think of it as, you know, it holds a different value. For me personally, I like to post to my stories because it's like done, it's over, that's it, message was received, and we're good to go. And also, just like you mentioned, I don't think 1,000 times. A lot of my captions are goofy as hell, so you know, it's what it is.
Okay, that's. So do you guys filter your social media of the in sense of what you follow?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the
yes.
last thing, like, I'll be upfront. I'm anti-Trump, so I'm not following somebody who's posting
Okay.
pro-Trump crap, like
We gonna
block,
have.
delete, unfollow. So I want to make sure that I don't get that on my feed. I don't want to associate with those types, So
Yeah.
I do become very selective about what I follow, what pages I follow, and the message that's being sent and the purpose of it. Like, I'm into running, triathlons. So I have a lot of that, fashion, sneakers, rappers, music. So I tend to keep my special interests as the things that I follow outside of the people that I know.
Okay. Lucy, any input in that?
What
Well,
he
I
said.
know, Lucy, you love staying positive and you love all that. I know you like all that zodiac sign and stuff.
I do, of course.
Do
She
you like
recently followed
follow?
like the
No, I do. Yes, I do filter what I watch. Yeah, I am into Spanish rappers.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. No, that's pretty cool.
No.
And we also know that, well, I know, Lucy, that you and your sister have a business page, which
Mm-hmm.
is bamboo Can.
With candles and soaps.
So you keep your business
Right.
page separately.
Right. That I keep separately, of course, because one is a business page and the other one is more private. It's private, and it's just a way of attracting more clientele, more people, more customers. So having it open, having it not private is important.
Yeah. Okay.
So do you, with the business page, do you like follow certain other businesses on that, or do you follow, like, are you particular about who you follow on it?
Well, yeah, well, I try to follow people that are into the same thing that I'm into and what I'm doing. So yes, it does help.
Okay.
So have you guys ever blocked someone from your Instagrams and social media, and have you
What?
told them about it, or do you
It's
just like cut them off and
I
like
think people know when they get blocked.
it's
like
so funny. We actually had that conversation before because he was saying, "Have you ever blocked someone?" And I'm like, "No, I never had the reason to block anybody. And why would I block
I can
somebody?"
give you a couple weeks.
This,
No,
that
listen.
actually came up with the younger version, right, Kamel?
Yeah,
The younger generation.
but for them, they don't mind blocking, unblocking. It's the same way with like just how we communicate. Like for us, as far as answering text messages and phone calls, I don't know. To me, it just seems like the older generation, well, us, we're a little bit more connected to, like Gia was saying, our footprint. Like how we're big on like once you post something, it's gonna be online. I tell
Mm-hmm.
my daughter like, don't post anything on YouTube. Don't post. I'm worried. Like those videos are always gonna be there. It's
Yeah.
important also back to
And,
what Gio and Lucy said about respect. You kind of were talking about respect. Like when colleagues see you doing something inappropriate, they might
mhm.
lose a little respect for you from you, and that could bother you. So it's understandable.
And at the same token, you mentioned, with your children, it's the same for me. Like, I have kids, and I wouldn't want my kid to end up the next trending meme. Like, you see
Exactly.
so many of these memes, and you're just wondering, like, this is a regular Joe who thought this was a cool picture, or hey, I'm just sharing this with my friends. Now the whole world has you with different signs and different memes, and you're like the thing, and that can impact your career, your school, your
Hmm.
morale, like. So if I don't know you, you don't need to follow me, and we're cool with that. But the whole blocking thing, yes, it's like the song goes, "Te bote," it's over. Like, if I don't want you, if I don't want to keep in touch with you in any way,
that's pretty cool. It's
that
true.
block button, listen, there's a hit list when I tell you on all platforms. Like, Blocked, 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 unfollow, blocked, blocked.
Oh god.
Jack, it's over. I don't hear your voice. You know what I mean? I don't see you.
Never blocked anyone in my life.
Yeah.
I haven't done it either, Lucy.
I have never blocked anyone. Nope.
And then, like, having a public page, you're at risk. Like, someone can start trolling you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
They can take your pictures and start catfishing people with your stuff. Like,
Yeah, that's
cut them off, man. Like, give them zero access.
What?
That's so
Me,
true.
me,
True.
and Lucy are very like la la la, right? Lucy?
We love everyone.
Right.
Yeah.
No one will do that to us.
Yes.
No.
You know, you mentioned the troll part, and I found myself like 2 or 3 times already getting into like back and forth with people I don't even know on some postings that, you know, I went through, you know, and I felt like making a comment, and then somebody from like another world decides to, you know, message me about my own message, and I was like, yo, what the hell? Like, it's freedom of
Block.
yeah.
But I'm like, it's freedom of speech. Like, why are you arguing with me? I don't know you. I have my own
They got that kind of time.
like it's crazy now that, you know, people will actually get into these arguments with you. Have you seen yourself do that and get caught up in these like these conversations? Lucy, I see you shaking your head. Oh, geez.
Right.
No, not me.
She's shaking her head.
Not me at all.
Do tell.
I don't support Trump.
That's right. Yeah.
God.
No, I don't get into it. I don't give them the time, the energy. Blocked is gone. A lot of people have that agenda because it increases their social media engagement. They can get more hits, more likes through you based on your answers and your back and forth. Now they'll screenshot that whole thing and say, "Oh, look at this person, look at this idiot, look at," and it becomes a thing. I'm good, love, and joy. Like, delete, block. I don't need that energy, so I don't entertain none of that back and forth. My opinion is mine, and they're all free. We're all entitled to those.
Right.
So
I even
you get
found
negative, you get blocked.
I found myself wanting to comment on certain things because I have my views, and I found myself not commenting because now I'm afraid that someone's gonna start some crap, and I'm not. You know, I don't want to get into that. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Was that on Facebook or was it on Facebook or what social media platform was it on, Jess?
That was on Instagram.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was through Instagram because I feel like through Instagram you can explore a little more and look into like there's more just more open pages. And you know, you follow certain things and you want to comment sometimes, and then here goes somebody trying to put in their 2 cents. I don't even know you, and you're putting your 2 cents in. So I'm like, come on, can I just speak? So
what do you guys think is the biggest, like, as far as from the generations, what do you feel like is the biggest difference between the generations? I mean, in reality, we came up with, you know, beepers, and there were payphones, and, you know, we didn't have all of these platforms we do now. So for us, this is something new and we're into it, but obviously it's not our main form of communication as it is with a lot of the younger generation. Like, what do you feel is the biggest difference between the generations when it comes to social media?
I don't know. Why do you put it on me? For me, I think the biggest difference between the two, or most age groups, is the purpose, right? So social media is a huge, it's the primary form of communication. So like you mentioned, we had the house phone. So people used to run home so they can call the friends that they just spent 8 hours in school with, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you would run home and watch a whole TV show on the phone with your friend. Like, oh my God, look, it's Chandler. Ha, he's funny. You know, like, you watch the whole show on the phone, and that's how we communicated. Today, I think the younger generation, this is their go-to medium. they didn't really have another option. They're the ones who, validated social media, that made it a thing, because they took off. They're the ones that took off with it. For us, when Facebook first came about, I think it was just for colleges, right? Like universities.
Only.
And, if you were in school, you were in school, so you got on. Hey, look at you. Hey, my other friend goes to whatever school. Done. It had no big purpose. For the younger generation, this is it. They can have a phone and only a data plan. Like, they don't need to text. They don't need to call. They don't use that feature, which is almost the equivalent of like folks in cable. A lot of folks are not using cable. They're not using the landline. They'll just get internet and Wi-Fi. So for them, that device is their go-to point. And that has transformed the way that we communicate on a global scale, because even companies, there's not a single company that doesn't have a social media page. Your business has a social media page. I use my Twitter as my rent account. Like, I go on Twitter when I need to get customer service. Like, you can forget that. I'm not calling anyone. I'm not emailing. If I at you on Twitter, you're gonna respond, right? So I'll do that way. Companies, Uber, Amazon, Target, everyone, the minute you put a message on Twitter, boom, someone reaches out to you right away. So social media has become the primary form of communication for everyone. So my mother, who's, in all purpose and in all meaning illiterate, has Facebook. And when she starts commenting on my posts, I cringe. But at the same time, it's like, my mom is on Facebook. That's it. The whole world, every Tom, Dick, and Harry is on social media. So it goes to show that social media, it's become the primary form of communication for everyone across the globe. And for the younger generation, I think it's more evident because that's all they know. They were born into it. Yeah. Whereas for us, we kind of developed it. We started toying around with it. They expanded it and they did it.
I'm curious to know what's next, right?
For real.
No, it's just going to be the same social media platforms enhanced. It's one of those, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right?
Right.
So the level of usage on Instagram, on Snapchat is outrageous. I mean, people's careers are being made off social media-like platforms. People are meeting people. They're living through social media. So anything that you create that's new has to compete with this monster that's already on a global scale. So I just think it'll just be enhancements, newer filters. You're now, I think on Instagram, you can like video chat with people the same way we're chatting. So it's just going to be enhancements to the existing platforms and the existing technology, just making it a little more personal. And I'm using air quotes when I say personal because it's technology. How personal can you get with technology? It almost sounds redundant or an oxymoron. I'm going to tell you, it's personal. There's no human connection, but we're making that connection through the social media platform.
Right. Okay. No, I completely understand. I'm sorry, we had a little technical difficulty there, guys. No, and wow, you summed it up and like we're all there in the pot, and you said you have to say. I appreciate that. And it made a lot of sense.
I know Camille was talking.
Why are you laughing, Lucy?
No.
Camille was talking to the younger generation about relationships last time, and forming relationships, and we were kind of talking about that. Like, have you guys ever had any or formed any personal relationships through social media?
No, I don't think I have. Nope.
I don't think you have.
At all. No.
I think if you have, you would know. No, absolutely not.
No.
Everyone that I've met organically. Friendships, any sort of romantic relationships have all been organically, face-to-face, human interaction. But I do know of a lot of folks within our age group who they leverage, what's it called? These
Twitter? No.
No.
The dating apps.
The dating apps. There you go.
Yeah.
Like the dating apps and whatnot.
Mhm.
And they're big with it. Like that's their thing. Oh, I'm not
Mhm.
seeing that person anymore. I'm gonna go online and find another person to see. I can't. I'm a little old school when it comes to that. I gotta meet you, see you, feel you, touch you, legally, just to kind of build that connection and see if there's possibility for something. It's like they say, nobody poses anything negative on social media. So how real is it? How real can you be? I see you in your element, and I think I get a better feeling of whether or not I'm actually interested and on something simple as being friends. But no, I've never leveraged any of that before.
Okay.
Cool.
So I know that one thing that's big and popular now is filters and these apps that you can edit yourself and make your abs more muscular.
There's
And
an app like that, Jen?
Yo, which one is it?
I'll share it on our IG, guys. Make sure you listen if you want abs. And you see that more and more, and I like now sometimes you can't, you can see someone on Instagram and then you'll see them face to face and they're so different. And Camille, I think you mentioned that last time in regard to like
foundation
fish and stuff like that. What do you guys think about that whole thing where now you have to be so careful because everything's being edited and filtered, and let me get my fix my eyebrows on the application and all that stuff. What are your thoughts on what's happening with that and our generation and what's happening?
Yes.
Tag, you're it, Lucy.
I think you lose a sense of self. You don't really know if people are who they really are. And it's just, but I mean, the filters are nice. They are nice, but I think a lot of people use them too excessively that you don't really know who really is behind the camera. So you really don't know. So, and a lot of people get too involved in that. Like if they don't have a filter, oh, I don't want to post. I'm not going to post a picture, or I'm not going to put it out there. Because now the filter is essential to them. It's important to them. It's what's going to make them feel better.
Right.
Yeah, people are like too obsessive with it. I mean,
Right.
to each his own, but it's like, how do you even know if it's a filter or not a filter? Sometimes you don't even know.
Yep.
I get confused with like some of the people that I know in person. I'm like, wait a minute, you look completely different now.
Oh my God, it's so
overnight.
true.
Like,
It
I'm
is
so
very, very
confused.
true.
Is that a filter? Is that real? I don't understand what happened.
Filters are the new Photoshop.
Yeah.
I think it's like, for me personally, you lose the hype. Like a lot of times you take a picture and you're like, yeah, post that. But when you're going through this whole that filter, let's try that, it's gone. I'm good with it.
Yeah.
And then some of the other filters are like pretty funny. Like the bunny ears and
Right.
the doggy ears and whatnot. Like that's humorous. But I think the point is that the filters are supposed to enhance the image, but
Right.
some folks feel as though it enhances their overall appearance.
Right.
And that's where the whole obsessiveness takes place, and people kind of get lost and lose themselves in
Right.
it. And
Mhm.
I mean, all judgment aside, just because someone likes a filter or uses filters doesn't mean that they have an issue with their image, but it just becomes a lot. And to your points, you don't really know who the person is.
Right.
Right. It's a little scary sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have actually met people in person, and I'm like, oh, you look completely different from your Instagram. No, seriously. Completely different. It's just those angles and those filters make a difference.
No, that's definitely scary. And you know, Liz, you said what's next to come, and it's like what's next to come with these filters and these editing and this all that stuff, and it can be a little scary.
Yeah, definitely.
So guys, you have any other input or feedback or suggestions about the world of social media that you'd like to share before we cut? Gio, Lucy, Camille. No?
Just don't lose yourself in social media. You know, a lot of people just get too caught up in it, and then they just think that that's their life. And yeah, just don't lose yourself and get just so involved in it.
And level yourself.
And level yourself differently.
Right in there. I think we need to just be conscious of the power of social media. Social media is very powerful. It's been known to drive a lot of social and political movements across the globe, from revolutions that happened in Egypt and across the Middle East. A lot of it were formed through groups that were formed on social media platforms like Facebook and Twitter. Social media plays a very critical role in our day-to-day interactions, on our politics. There's not a single politician that doesn't have a Twitter handle. There's an official White House Twitter handle.
Is there? I didn't even know.
There is. And there's no, we cannot deny the power and the importance of social media. We also have to be equally responsible about our usage, how we perceive things, and just be conscious of how we judge people based on what they choose to show us. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're very selective about the things that we post. No one is posting their depressive moments live. No, not too many people, actually, I should say. Not too many people are posting when things aren't going right, when the bills are not getting paid. Instead, we see a lot of vacation pictures, and I'm out to dinner, and somebody's birthday. And we need to be conscious that that's what people choose to share. And it doesn't necessarily make them that person or whomever we think they are based on their posting or their social media footprint.
Very true.
Awesome feedback. Thank you.
So true.
Definitely telling people to be conscious and level themselves, right?
Yes.
which is the point of our podcast, is giving light to these situations and just letting others listen to our opinions. We all have to say, and I'm sure other people are feeling the same way. So thank you for joining us. It was great to have some other 80s babies.
Yeah.
80s babies on the line with us, so that I'm sure other people who are, especially in our age generation, feel the same way. It's like this blew up out of nowhere, and how do we deal with it, right? From our perspective, how we're dealing with it and how we're leveling ourselves. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And remember, tune into our IG at Level Yourself to get more info and to get that information on the abs. Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Thank you. We're out.
Good night. Bye.